Our next speaker is Mislav Stepinac. He's an associate professor at the University of Zagreb, where he serves as the head of the Department of Structures. He completed his PhD in timber engineering with his primary research areas focusing on masonry and timber structures. So, Mislav, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephen, for introducing me. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Mislav, as Stephen introduced me, and I will have a short overview of the activities in post-earthquake assessment, renovation, and all post-earthquake processes in Croatia. So I think a lot of you are aware of the earthquakes in Croatia, but this moderate earthquakes sometimes goes under the radar. So we had in 2020, during the lockdown, 2 earthquakes. First one was in Zagreb, in the capital. So when I say moderate, it's 5.5 by magnitude, not so strong earthquake, but the epicenter was just 9 kilometers from the city center. And the second one in the region of Petrinja, it was 6.3 by magnitude. Altogether, 80,000 buildings were damaged. So, you know, sometimes we are talking about Turkish earthquakes. It's a disastrous earthquake, of course, but this, as I said, moderate earthquakes can also cause very significant damage to the regions. If you want to know more about these earthquakes, particularly the one in Zagreb, you can find this. There is a barcode here, or I can share you with my presentation. Okay, when we are talking in financial terms, just Zagreb earthquake, 5.5 again, caused 11.2 billion euros damage. Combined with Petrinja earthquake, it was around 16 billion euros, according to World Bank damage assessments. Turkish earthquake, this one, very disastrous one, was 34 billion. So, and if we compare Turkey as a whole country, big country, and Croatia as a very small country, so 16 billion euros is 1/3, even more, of yearly GDP of Croatia. So somehow it was very tough for government also, very tough decisions how to solve this problem and how to invest the money. Of course, when there is, again, we are lucky because we are small somehow, because Europe served as our sponsor a lot. So we get a lot of money from European Union for recovery after these 2 earthquakes. So I will show several pictures of Zagreb. Zagreb looked like it's built in building blocks. Typical Austro-Hungarian city. So unreinforced masonry with timber floor structures, timber roofs, built in building blocks. And everything is under heritage protection. The whole city center is under heritage protection. So on this picture on the left, you can see when more brown color appear, it's unreinforced masonry buildings. So you can see that, of course, in the downtown and upper town, these are heritage protected regions in Zagreb. Almost everything was done in unreinforced masonry. Last earthquake was in Zagreb 140 years ago. So these are the typical damages. You know, I will not go in details about typical damages of unreinforced masonry, but what I want to stress out is that we have a lot of damage to cultural sector. And these 2 photos are photos of recently renovated buildings before the earthquake. So sarcastic is that this one on the right is the headquarters of the Restoration Office of Croatia. It was renovated before the earthquake. So I want to say, and then Iskarsah is of course forcing this, that we need a holistic approach, not just architects and not just civil engineers or structural engineers. We need to have some kind of a better assessment and better renovation processes for cultural heritage. And of course, we have also this kind of damages, complete demolitions, mostly of sacral architecture in Petrinja region. I'll present shortly. I'm a principal investigator of one national project. It's called Assessment and Rehabilitation of Timber and Masonry Buildings. Again, idea was in 2020 to have experiments and to somehow have a database of Croatian masonry and timber. In the end, I was very lucky somehow because of this earthquake. Before, we were begging people, can we test your building? Now everybody is begging us, can you please take some tests on our building? So, of course, you all know Eurocode 8 principles of knowledge levels. We need to know geometry, we need to know detailing, and we need to know, in the end, material properties of our building, if we want to, especially if we want to do proper assessment and proper renovation, nonlinear modeling, and so on. So for geometry, it's very strange that Croatia, we don't have any, but literally any blueprints of buildings majority of the people in Croatia are living. So in heritage protected buildings, of course, we need to have more detailed assessment. So we were using laser scanning, drones, photogrammetry, and so on. And the thing we are also developing in this macro-seismic risk assessment is using on drones and to develop macro-seismic approach, typically or validated on Croatian earthquakes. So from my point of view, drones can be very easily used, not just in post-earthquake assessment, but in macro-seismic approaches. So you can see these two blocks, and they were filmed in 20 minutes with the drone. And down there, you can see the precision is 4 centimeters. So there are new technologies we need to use. We've done a lot of testing on existing buildings, on damaged buildings, so double flat jacks, sclerometering of concrete when we had concrete in some buildings, then mortar, but mortar was lime mortar, and it was so bad that it was, better not to test it in the end. One thing that we were using for, if you are know something about flat jacks, the thing we introduced, and I think it's maybe a valuable thing, is if you have a laser scanner, this device here, then you can measure a hole inside the wall. So these pictures here, it's a hole inside of a wall. And then you can measure some kind of areas, and of course the results depends on the area. The good thing about this job is that you can visit very nice buildings, spectacular buildings, heritage buildings. So these are just a few that my team was inspecting. And if you come to Zagreb, I will be glad to lead you, especially to the cathedral, which is under renovation at the moment. So we tested a lot, but compared to Italians, of course, it's not a lot. But having in mind that flat jack was never used in Croatia before, so we wanted to see what results we will get. I know I was talking with Filippo that in Italy, thousands of flat jacks are probably done in a day, but in Croatia this was not the case. We want and we hope that we will somehow contribute to this working group Filippo is leading with typical masonry or unenforced masonry in Croatia. If you want to read about it, we also published 2 papers about it. So here are the basic and first results of it. So we compared the results of shear capacity and modulus of elasticity with Eurocode norms and with Italian standards. And maybe for modulus of elasticity, you can see the majority of test results are below the conservative values. Okay, it's a lot under discussion now how to use this data, but at least we have some data at the moment. Also, and I think this is also some kind of a very good opportunity for Iskarsah members to know each other. And we were doing and comparing sonic tests with FLEGEX, with colleagues from Madrid and Lausanne, and doing sonic, of course, measuring dynamic modulus of elasticity and comparing it with results of FLEGEC. So, of course, they are not completely comparable, but we can see some trends in experiments and how these results maybe can be in the end compared, and maybe we can have a better assessment of our buildings. In the end, I want to conclude with several occasions in Croatia. We have a lot of happening in Croatia. In late November, I will organize a training school or a workshop. Everybody is invited. It's for free. We have already 6 Iskarsah members attending it and presenting it. This is from last year. It was very successful, and we will repeat it this year. And then in the end, there are 2 more conferences in Croatia. I have leaflets for third Croatian conferences here, so if someone is interested, we have very good keynote speakers, and there will be a very good technical tours to island of Hvar, to Split, the Eclesian Palace. Again, Šatis for timber guys, it's in Zagreb in September, so a lot of happening in Croatia next year. And with this, I want to thank you with this beautiful, knitting in Croatia, so we can knit some cracks and we can fix some cracks. And I'm really grateful if somebody can join us, help us, and we are always open for discussions, collaborations. So if you like the work we are doing, I'm there. So talk with me. Thank you very much.